Are we the ancestors our children deserve? A series of uncomfortable questions. This is part 3. India is still grappling with the lack of basic civic amenities since its independence in the year 1947. Why? Who shall be accountable for this? These two questions are not being asked as frequently as they should have been. That is the reason nobody is accountable either from the politicians who rule in the country or the bureaucrats, the government babus, the government staff. Why our politicians did not plan since 1947 to produce more electricity so that it can be used for cooking. While the United Kingdom has a long established history of electric cooking, India's transition from LPG is currently underway but faces different structural, economic, and cultural hurdles. As of March 2026, the ongoing US Iran war has made this shift more urgent due to severe LPG supply risks. India is having surplus power in some states, but the quality of the power is questionable. India has achieved self sufficiency in producing electricity, but again, the transmission losses and the quality of transmission and the quality of power are still having problems. Let us look at this table. The primary users of cooking gas, LPG, or natural gas are 3 billion globally. Exclusively the electricity in terms of electric stoves or induction stoves, one fourth of the global population using it. When you look at the efficiency, cooking gas, LPG, and natural gas transfer 50% of the energy to the pot that is being used for cooking. Whereas electricity is highly efficient, up to 90% for the induction. Main advantage, fast heating works during power cuts. Electricity is safer because it does not have any open flame, lower running costs. The main drawback, high import dependency and price volatility. Whereas electricity has got high upfront cost for appliances, which means initial investment cost will be high, but that cost can be recovered. See, this is the fact. Electricity is more efficient provided we make some initial investment. Let us dig deeper into this fact. Why can't we have a separate supply of electricity for cooking in each home? This is a very important question we need to ask for ourselves, because if we do not ask these questions, we do not deserve to be the ancestors of our children. We know that many have induction stoves in their houses. It is time to upgrade as it helps the ecology too. Differing power requirements. Internal wiring. A standard 1.5 ton AC typically requires a dedicated 15 ampere socket and heavy duty wiring, which every house has got now. In India, several houses have got AC wiring, specifically done for that. In the same manner, why can't we do kitchen wiring? That's what we are talking about, kitchen readiness. Most Indians' kitchens are only wired with 5 amps sockets for light appliances like mixers and toasters. But now in South India, you will find that there are heavy duty grinding machines which are used for making dough for idli and dosa, the batter. So there are houses which have got 15 amps sockets in the kitchen too. So it's only a matter of providing a quality power with quality transmission, which means reducing the transmission losses drastically and ensuring that the power is uninterrupted and given to each house. Why we do not have basic civic amenities even after 70 years of independence? Let us look at this. It's a sobering reality that while India has made massive strides in space and digital technology, the foundational civic infrastructure remains a work in progress. I repeat, the foundational civic infrastructure remains a work in progress. I repeat, the foundational civic infrastructure remains a work in progress in India. Based on data from Swachh Bharat 2.0, where that is the version, Jal Jeevan Mission, and recent Niti Aayog reports from 2024 to 2026. Here is the status of these basic facilities. Drainage type. Urban India has got 35 to 40% of underground or closed drainage. So there are two aspects. Closed drainage is nothing but an open drainage with slabs kept on it. It's called closed drainage. It's not an underground drainage. And underground drainage is typically available in cities like Hyderabad, where the drainage pipelines are dug deep into the earth and the connections are given from each house to these drain pipelines. That is actually called underground drainage. So that is still lagging behind. I would say it's only 35%. 65% of the cities, especially urban India, are yet to get underground drainage. In the rural India, less than 5%, which means 95% of the villages are yet to have underground drainage. We are talking about quantum computing, we are talking about AI, we are talking about data centers, we are talking about all kinds of modern thinking, modern technology, but we are lagging behind these basic civic amenities. Who shall be held responsible? 78 years of independence and we are still lagging behind. Because of this, the diseases are absolutely growing. The diseases are growing, and is it because of the medical mafia that the underground drainage is not being done? There are several questions each citizen will have to ask. Now, open surface drains, which means the drains freely flow on the road, 45 to 50%. In the 60% of rural India has got open drains. No organized draining at all. Absolutely no organized draining. 10 to 15% in the urban India, 35% in the rural India. These are the figures given by the Niti Aayog report. not my figures or the figures which are cooked by anybody else. This talks about what are our priorities, where is our development. Our development is absolutely zero when it comes to basic civic amenities. I am ashamed of my being passive and did not ask these questions so loudly so far. And the capacity to treat it. It remains the biggest environmental challenge. Let us see the data again from the same source from the Niti Aayog. Sewage urban 72,000 MLD. Treatment capacity is only 31,000 MLD. The gap is 41,000. I doubt the gap can be more also. Drinking water treatment plants required for 1.5 billion, 70 to 75% of demand is only being treated. The gap is 25 to 30. Again, these figures do not connote the reality, because in the reality the villages do not have a water treatment plant. It's only a pumping from the underground to the overhead tank, and the water is sometimes chlorinated in the overhead tank and sent across. That's all. So we are lagging behind this basic civic amenity. Why waste to compost is abysmal in India? I feel ashamed of being a citizen of this country to ask these questions even after 78 years of independence. Are you? Are you feeling ashamed listening to this? If you are feeling ashamed, please ask these questions from your end too. If you look at the daily generation of solid waste, it is 1.6 lakh tons. Huge. Actually composted is 45,000 tons. I think this is also a fabricated figure from the government end. Requirement, that is the goal is 1.15 lakh tons. That is the gap. Organic wet waste daily generated 80,000 tons. Actually composted 28,000 tons. Requirement and goal, it should be 80,000 tons. The reason is that the total processing shall be 80,000 tons, so that it can be given as a compost and sold. That's what we are talking about, waste to wealth. This is a huge wealth which we are missing, and this wealth is going to create health through organic farming. Today, are you happy with the tomatoes you are getting with absolutely no natural aroma? Are you happy with the coriander leaves that you are buying? There is no aroma for them. There are several vegetables, leafy vegetables, which do not have natural aroma. Forget about all those things. Are you getting the curry leaves which we use for every dish that we cook, every curry that we cook in South India? Karvepaku in Telugu, Karvepillai in Tamil, and this curry leaf is absolutely not having any aroma. Shame. Who failed India? My dear friends, who failed India? Political vision. Our politicians failed India. For decades, the focus was on grand projects rather than invisible infrastructure. Governments prioritized ribbon cutting projects over maintenance heavy civic works. All politicians are driven by the next election. Their goal is to get elected again, and that goal remains same even after 78 years of independence. The bureaucratic inertia. The covenantal nature of Indian bureaucracy often favored status quo and complex tendering over innovative decentralized waste management. And all the PMs and all the CMs have successfully sustained zero accountability of the government babus, because when they seek accountability of the government babus will eventually ask for the accountability of the politicians or the ministers, the ruling MLAs and MPs, which will be very difficult. So the game is that let us keep status quo. Do not ask for accountability of each and every government employee. The public money that is being used to pay salaries for these people is just being paid since 78 years without any accountability. Are you happy with this? The silent sufferer citizenry, which includes me and you, we chose to suffer silently. As we discussed earlier, the five categories of professionals remained silent without a demand side push from a taxpayers union or professional bodies. Civic communities remained a charity from the state rather than a right of the citizen. Is it not disgusting to listen to this? Civic communities remained a charity from the state rather than a right of the citizen? Shame. Flawed urban planning, the most controversial and the corrupt department in the whole of India is town planning. In my area, children are deprived of playing. They are playing on the roads cricket. They are playing on the roads several other games because they do not have a park or a playground, and the schools are also being permitted without a playground. In a multi-storied building, schools operate without a ground. Is it really the urban planning? Cities like Bangalore and Hyderabad grew faster than their master plans, leading to concrete jungles built over natural drainage canals. They are called nalas. And the political and bureaucratic joint venture even occupied the water bodies. Who failed India? Politicians, bureaucracy, the government babus, and we, the silent sufferers, chose to be the silent sufferers. We are failing India day in and day out. Why the governments do not publish their annual performance plan and share the achievements at the end of every year? Why fooling us with Vikasit Bharat by 2047 or Swarnandhra by 2047? Why voters don't demand more accountability than freebies? How long we continue like this? Do we deserve to be the ancestors of our children? At this rate, we do not. Thank you for listening.